Good morning. Welcome to Time in His Word. I've often wondered what happened to that person that always ended up sitting by themselves at lunch during school. You would see a group maybe at the next table over after they'd gotten all their buddies to sit down with them, and they would invite this other person over. They say, "Hey, you can come sit with us." Well, why didn't they sit with that person initially? Was there something wrong with that person? Maybe that person was exceptionally well at academics or a standout sports figure, or maybe just somebody that was on the team. They tried exceptionally hard and made the others feel uncomfortable because of their hard work, and it showed that the others weren't trying as much. Don't know. Always wondered whatever happened to that person that ended up sitting at lunch by themselves during school. And to this day, I still wonder, whatever happened to that person? What did they go on and achieve in life? But more importantly, what was it about that person that made the others feel like not sitting with them, but yet after they got their group together would invite them over to sit with them? And maybe a time or two that person got up and moved over, but after a while they stopped doing that. Sometimes thinking back, I speculate that maybe that person was a Christian. They didn't throw in other people's faces, constantly telling them they need to go to church, they need to repent. Nothing like that. They just quietly led a Christian life. Maybe that was what threw those others off. Who knows? We'll never know. But it's one of those questions that we can ponder, have a great discussion about, and never come to a conclusion. But my thought is, just like I said, can't think of any certain reason why that always happened, but it always seems to happen. And I'm sure today, if we was stood against the back wall of a high school cafeteria or junior high cafeteria, we would see somebody sit down at a table to eat lunch, and they would end up eating by themselves, and a group would congregate at the next table over, and eventually you would hear them invite that sole person over to their table. But I've always, like I said before, I always wondered, why didn't that group sit with that person? And it's kind of like that in our Christian walk today as adults. See, we're a part of this world. We're not, I don't want to say we're a part of this world. We're in this world, but we're not a part of this world because of who we are and who we serve. And let me say even further. In Romans, the 12th chapter, verse 2 says, "And do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may prove that the will of God is that which is good and acceptable and perfect." See, as Christians, when we try as best we can to live that Christian lifestyle, we're going to rub the non-believers and those who don't accept Christianity the wrong way. We don't even have to say a word. Just the mere fact that we profess to be a Christian will set some people off. Sometimes I wondered if that person that sits by themselves in the lunchroom like that and the others won't sit with them, is it because they're a Christian? Who knows? Don't have the answer. Never will know the answer. But it's a point to ponder. And with this passage, it makes it easier to understand why at times we may be that person that sits down and nobody sits around us, but the next group over will invite us eventually because they feel stronger in numbers. Who knows? Like I said, it's one of them topics that can bring up a great debate, a great discussion. There's no right or wrong answer. But for me, it's what this verse says. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Another way of looking at that is, who are you focused on? Are you focused on Christ? Or are you focused on being accepted by the masses? Another great point to ponder, a great argument, not argument, but a great debate. As you go through the day today, think about that. that we're not to be conformed to this world, but transformed by the renewing of our mind, so that you may prove that the will of God is that which is good and acceptable and perfect.